Here's a scenario. You see a problem that you'd like to do something about, or maybe you already have a great idea, but you don't know how to get it started. Well, you're not alone. Whether it's designing a new app, an idea for a cooking gadget to make things faster, or a new sustainable farming technique, there's a process that you can follow to bring your ideas to life. Hi, I'm Victor, and welcome to Creative Engineering. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the engineering design cycle. First things first, we need to define our problem. The engineering design process always begins with asking yourself, what is the problem? And beginning to get an idea of the situation that you're faced with. Let's pretend we're designing the first light bulb. In this situation, the problem to address is the need to have light after the sun goes down. Now that we understand our problem, we need to do some research. At this point, you want to find out as much information as you can and ask yourself questions like, what are the current solutions? How do they address the problem? And where can they be improved? Think about how much money and time these designs consume. Before the light bulb, the solutions to seeing in the dark were candles and oil lamps. Both of these provided a limited amount of light, needed to be replaced or refilled often, and could be dangerous if left unattended. Ideally, your solution will improve upon and fix the issues of previous iterations. The next step is brainstorming, or the ideation stage. This is where the real magic happens. Brainstorming can look different for everybody, whether it's a whiteboard and markers, paper and pen, or even just drawing things out, making lists or diagrams. This is the stage where you shouldn't edit anything, don't get rid of anything, and let your creativity flow. Have fun with it. If we're trying to create a new source of light, we might think about capturing lightning, filling a jar with fireflies that glow at night, or finding a way to have fire burn forever without needing more fuel. These ideas may seem ridiculous, but that's okay. The more you get down, the more you can take inspiration from. The design phase is where you pick one or more of your ideas, combine them and write them all down, and start to get a better picture of how things are going to come together. For our light bulb, let's say we found out that some resistive materials get hot and glow when a current is run through them. So we could focus on this to be the main point in our design. The next step is creating your design. This is where you start to bring your design to life and dial in on what the vision should be. We have our first light bulb prototype. The next step is called test and analyze. Testing and analyzing is arguably one of the most important parts of this design process. This is where we get to figure out if our prototype works or not. Regardless though, it's important to analyze, take down all the information you can, whether it works or not, figure out what worked, what could be improved on, and this can help you get a starting off point on how to improve and getting new ideas. If we test out our first light bulb prototype, it's possible that the resistant material will burst into flames and the lights will quickly go out. It goes to show that the prototype has potential, but a problem is at hand. Following this, we have iterate and improve. This step is all about repetition. Just because your design didn't work the way you wanted it to the first try, doesn't mean it failed. And alternatively, just because it worked the first try, doesn't mean it can't be improved on. This is where we take all the data that we collected from our last step and use it to decide what to fix and improve upon in our next design. At this point, we rebuild and we test again. Continue these two steps until you get the desired results. In the case of our light bulb, we would have needed to play around with different materials, going through multiple trials and errors to figure out what design would work the best. The final step is to share the results and product. By sharing your product, explaining how it works, and the problem you're trying to solve, you could potentially get some constructive feedback. If this inspires you to jump back into the iteration cycle, that's totally okay. Remember, no design was fully developed by one person, and no design is ever completely final. Alternatively, your design could inspire someone else to create their own design to solve the same problem or to address a different one. This is just one example of how you can use the engineering design process with your own ideas. Remember, don't get discouraged. It can take countless iterations before you reach the final result you're looking for. Creative Engineering wants to encourage you to use design thinking in your own lives. So, let us know in the comment section down below, what are some problems that you'd like to try and solve with the engineering design cycle? Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and got some value out of it, please consider liking and subscribing, and hit the little bell icon to get notified every time we post a video. We'll be posting new videos every week to empower students to build their skills in design thinking while taking a creative approach in real-world engineering problems.